well, I just wanted to make an overall observation on it, so people understood what they were looking at.
Right.
If we're going to go line by line, I would like to address the first line, 4350. Let's just look at the year-to-date totals, so the first three columns. And I've said this for the last 3 months, and I guess I've got to say it again. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. If you look at, I need my cheat sheet, sorry. If you look at assessments, lots without utilities. So we have a budget of so much, we've got a deficit of so much, deficient delinquency of so much. That's a 30% number. That's 30% of the budget. So for people who own lots without utilities, 30% of that income is not coming in. Okay.
Or what? I'm sorry. Delinquent?
We're talking about lots without utilities.
Right.
The delinquency is 30% of budget. So the conclusion is 30% of our members without utility, with lots without utilities, membership lots, are not paying their assessments. That's reasonable. It's not reasonable, but it's sort of what one might expect in today's climate. You look at assessments for lots with utilities, budget and deficit, that's about 9%. So lots with utilities, we have 9% of our membership not paying. Again, compared to 30%, that's about what you'd expect to have happen. That a lot less people would be in deficit that actually own a house here. But if you look at the top line, special assessment maintenance facility, the deficit we're showing versus budget is 32%, greater than either the deficit of our regular assessments, which just doesn't pass the nonsense test. It should be somewhere in between. It can't be greater than both of the numbers. There's a misallocation of the special assessment. We're just not telling it.
There is an error in this spreadsheet. Kilmer apprised me of it yesterday, in that they incorrectly coded a expense item as an income item, and so as a result, they have to change this. And in the spreadsheet that we see next week, we'll have the revised numbers in it. I got numbers from Kilmer's staff today that give me the current delinquent rates, and I'll tell you what they are, just for your own recording. And I think this is consistent with your finding there, Wayne. Right now, our utility lots through April are 15% delinquent.
15?
15, 1-5. The membership lots are 33% delinquent. Trash assessments are 14% delinquent, and the special assessments are 22% delinquent. And those are numbers that have been triple checked through April.
What was that special assessment already?
22%.
22%.
What were the first two, John?
15 for utilities, 33 for membership.
Without utilities.
Without utilities, yes. 14 for trash, special assessment 22%.
What about the roads and maintenance are both 22?
Roads was a last year. The fact that we've got some road income means that people paid their last year assessment this year.
Okay.
So those aren't in this year's budget. Roads is not in this year's budget.
Saying that, John, looking at, should we, if it's not in this budget, should we expect this number to be there?
I'm sorry, which number you found?
29,000.
Special assessment.
If this is last year. We probably should have forecast.
You're absolutely, well, I don't know. Again, that's open for discussion. Do we think we're going to continue to collect over last year's assessments throughout the year, or do we think that that's
Maybe more.
It's probably it. The first quarter is probably it.
So do we wish to change that number, which obviously the board can do?
Right.
Well, I don't know if it does much good for us to micromanage this set of numbers, because given the percentages John just told us, every single number is quite hugely wrong. Every income line item is wrong by a very big amount.
Well, I don't know whether they all are or not, Wayne, but yeah, there is an error in income, we're admitted that, and owned up to it. And
There's a 6% error, you just told us, in the biggest one, assessments for lots with utilities. This shows 9% delinquency, and you just told us it's 15.
Correct.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's big numbers.
That's, but you said that was end of
That's
April?
through April.
Through April, but this is only through end
That's
of March.
That's through March, that's correct.
It changed from 9 to 15 in 1 month. You've got a pretty big problem.
It's a big swing if that's really happened.
So, John, do you have any idea how that all nets out to?
I don't, Wayne, I don't have an update for March. I have April figures here, but I don't have an update for March.